Today's featured story on the live stream is Bachelor exes Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell are not on speaking terms after drama. We'll talk about this, and right after this, I'm going to talk about the no contact rule, which I feel like a lot of people know about aspects of the no contact rule, but might not know the specifics of why it is good to go no contact. A lot of people say, oh, you got to go no contact with somebody so that way they'll want you back. It's like, no. The idea of the no contact rule is about moving on in real life. So with regards to Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell, it begs the question, are they not speaking because they're trying to move forward? What the heck's going on? As we know, Matt James was in Atlanta, Georgia this past weekend for some YouTube events and TikToks and this and that, and that's only an hour away from where Rachael Kirkconnell lives, virtually the same town. So it makes you wonder, after what Rachael Kirkconnell went through, thinking she was getting back together with Matt James or staying together, and she kind of felt two-timed, how tough it must have been to know he was in her hometown and didn't receive a phone call. So let's just read this real quick here. That, of course, is not Matt James. I don't know what they have here. So over, they need a new word for over. If there was ever any chance that Bachelor stars Matt James and Rachael Kirkconnell might get back together after their brief reunion, it appears to have evaporated. Rachael and Matt are on non-speaking terms. They're on non-speaking terms after she learned about him lying about being in communication with another girl, a source told Us Weekly exclusively on Monday, April 19th. He was in Atlanta this weekend, which is less than an hour from where Rachael resides, and he has not reached out to her to make amends or apologize. As far as she's concerned, what they had is in the past now. All right, this is interesting. This is interesting because, up until now, we didn't know what their true vibes were. Would they try to reconcile? Would they, be kind of taking some time to think about where they stand and then get back together? But it appears that this was enough to kill the relationship. So let's read further. By the way, who does she look like? Emily Ratajkowski? Isn't that this photo? It looks like a different person. Right here. Though the former NFL player 29 met up with the graphic designer 24 in New York City earlier this month, the claims that James had been speaking to another woman during his visit hit Kirkconnell pretty hard. Rachael is very emotional right now because she was very hopeful that things were going to work out. A second source told Us earlier this month after a woman named Grace claimed that she was seeing him. She's still trying to process this. All right. So, seems like she is not happy. And now, according to a second insider, the Georgia native thought she was on track for a reunion with James, but once she found out about Grace, she felt manipulated by him. Grace, who revealed her alleged relationship with the ABC Food Tours founder during an Instagram Live with Reality Steve, also didn't appreciate finding out that James had seen Kirkconnell during his trip. The source confirmed that she dropped him after she heard about his meeting with his ex. So this is good news in the sense that it is good that Rachael Kirkconnell is setting boundaries. I know a lot of people were wondering, why would she go back to him, after the way he didn't kind of treat her well after the final rose and this and that. Lots of sort of back and forth for what people thought should have been done regarding this situation. As someone who grew up in the South, it takes me to a place that I don't often like to think about. I wasn't okay, James said of Rachael's post. I was in the moment in the conversations that I had that Rachael might not understand what it means to be black in America. It's heartbreaking. If you don't understand that something like that is problematic in 2018, there's a lot of me that you won't understand. It's as simple as that. So it was the beginning of the end after the final rose. And then once they broke up, when we found out that he kind of left the door open for her if she did the work. And then afterwards, of course, we wonder if part of Matt James saying he'll get back with her if she does the work was part of that him just trying to remain single. And of course, he was talking to other women. They, of course, FaceTimed each other. And, a lot of questions there. So call in right now, everyone watching on the live stream, and let me know what you guys think. Let's see here. I think we got Hannah from Texas. So we're going to talk about no contact. So very briefly, Ashton Kirsten in the chat, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate you. A couple donations here. Ashton Kirsten said, we think Rachael should move on. If she doesn't feel she can trust him again, which we probably couldn't in this situation, good for her for making that decision. Thanks, Dave. Have a great week. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate your input. Sarai says, thanks for all that you do, and left a date update voicemail. Oh, great. I'll play your voicemail after, Sarai. Much appreciated for that. Moving the no contact rule, the most effective way to move on from an ex. The no contact rule refers to cutting off all contact with an ex following a breakup, and it's the best method for moving on from an ex. No contact should last for a minimum of 60 days. I love it when these articles have tangible days, because it's like, look, just get to 60 days. If you can go 60 days without liking one of their photos or going on their social media, it's only going to get easier after that. So no contact for 60 days. It includes no texting, no calling, no interacting on social media. It can feel like an extreme move when you're still working to get over a breakup, but the truth is that cutting off contact with an ex is the fastest, most effective way to truly move on. Here's everything you need to know about how no contact after a breakup works. So we'll play some of that, but let's listen to some of your voicemails and thoughts on no contact.
Hey guys, it's Hannah from Texas. And honestly, no contact works because it helps you kind of starve the fever of talking to them, right? And any contact just kind of feeds that hope that maybe something will even develop into a friendship. But guess what? You already have a ton of friends. Yeah. You have good friends that love you. You don't need this new person that you thought was going to be important in your life, but they just aren't the person for you. And it's just best to move on. Not really on either person's side. It just doesn't seem like they're meant to be, and that's okay. And I think they'll both find happiness. Thanks, guys. Have a good Monday.
Thank you so much. I love that term, starve the fever. I feel like that's a merch shirt, just my face, and it says starve the fever. I don't know. That sounds great. Let's go over some of these rules because, look, we can use these examples as situations to better improve ourselves. I don't know. Is it just me, or is the no contact rule like kind of a new age? I feel like this is one of those terms that's been around for a while, but I never heard it. But we've always known, like, look, if you're gonna break up with someone, you got to just break up and just not do the whole like, well, how you doing? How you doing? You're absolutely right. To our last caller, they've got plenty of friends. Well, you don't need to stay friends. Saying you want to stay friends after a breakup, to me, it is just. It is a way to cop out of feeling your true emotions. You're leaving the door open and you're not ripping the Band-Aid off fast enough. That's my thoughts. The no contact rule will not help you get your ex back. Some people try to use the no contact rule as a form of manipulation, a way to get your ex to miss you so much they want you back. Despite what some people will tell you on the internet, no contact is not particularly effective for getting an ex back. Yeah, that's just kind of a little bit mental to look at it that way, like you're going to just like ignore someone until they want you back. Like, look, there might be some psychological sort of truth to that, but it's about it, if they want to win you back, that's another story. But the no contact isn't about doing something for them. It's about doing something for you. Number 2, it will suck. The vast majority of people use love as a drug. They get high from an external source, another person's presence and approval. The withdrawal from that feeling that comes to a heartbreak after a relationship ends in the fear that they may not know how to be happy on their own can be terrifying. Have faith. You will feel sad. You will feel grief. But by using the no contact rule, you will also regain strength, self-esteem, confidence, and empowerment. You also differentiate wanting a partner from needing one. I always look at it this way. The best relationships are dessert, not the main course. You have to be able to grow up with your own root system next to your partner. You don't want to overshadow each other. You want to be two healthy, individuals that can come together and give each other a little bit of shade when needed. Let's go. So number 3, your silence speaks so much louder than any words could. Ending a long-term relationship is the worst, especially if your partner breaks up with you by text or another hurtful way, national television, whatever. In such cases, your ex likely knows how they have behaved badly. They may even be waiting for you to scream or beg or demonstrate a meltdown on social media so they can label you dramatic. If you do so, you'll confirm that their decision was the right choice. This is why Rachel's doing such a great thing. She's doing her. Let me see if I can go back and find the photos of Rachel. She's doing her. She's hanging out. I lost the one I was thinking of earlier. All right, but let's go here. Let me see if there's any final voicemails here. I know I'm kind of juggling a lot. Let's see what this one says. That's 1 second, folks. Let's go to Tampa, Florida.
Hey, Dave, it's Jess from Tampa, and your question was if Rachel should move on, and I think actually that they should both just move on, and I think this is just a really poor time for both of them. I think they're not a good match for each other. I think there are details that we will never know, and I think that there's a thing on Reddit that am I the asshole? And one of the things is everybody's the asshole, and I think everybody's the asshole here. So anyway, thanks. Have a great night. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. There's so much complexities. You're right. We just got to move on from this scenario. Absolutely. Let's see if we can get. Trying to read people's comments before I play them. Let's go to Katie in Alaska.
Hey, Dave. It's Katie from Alaska. I was just calling to talk about this next segment. I really don't think that they should get back together. I think that they should just stop talking and just let that be that. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope you have an amazing day and look forward to keeping watching your live stream.
Thank you so much, Katie.
Can't talk right now. Bye, Dave.
Katie from Alaska, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. We got Sheriff here. Let's see what Sheriff says about the Rachel situation. Second here.
Hi, this is the Sheriff. In regards to the Matt and Rachel situation, it only makes sense that they're not talking to each other with all their friction and everything that's been going on between them. So that's my opinion, and I don't expect them to reconcile anytime soon. So have a good one, everyone. Okay, bye.
Yeah, if they were going to reconcile, I think it would have been this last trip where Matt was in Georgia. Now, Lori Hutchin in the chat says, I've had to do the no contact rule before. It was super necessary, and the only way for me to really heal and not continue to be hurt was complete no contact. You will develop, number 4, this is from mindbodygreen.com. You will develop important emotional skills using no contact. The loss of a relationship often results in more free time. Use this time wisely to develop emotional intelligence. So yeah, just like Bennett told you. So you have a greater chance of success with or without your ex down the road. In my work coaching women and men, 99% of the problems I see result from a lack of boundaries. No is a short word that doesn't get uttered often enough. If your choice is between being liked or being respected, always choose the latter. No contact is a good time to develop better boundaries, increase your self-esteem, and abandon dysfunctional behaviors you learned in childhood. When you assess where you made mistakes and correct those behaviors, you have a much better probability of success in your next relationship. And also, not to say Rachael Kirkconnell didn't love Matt James, but when you get a scenario with the lights rolling and the cameras and the sound guy and the crafty and the nice outfits and the dates and the Louboutin, when you get all that put together, you just get this adrenaline rush, and you might think it's love when in fact it's just your response to this crazy emotional experience. Once you strip that all away, it's like, is this the guy you really want? The guy who's dodging you, who's like taking a bathroom break while you're getting sushi so he can FaceTime with the other girl? Like, is this the guy you want? You know what I mean? Yeah. So number 5, you will rediscover forgotten sources of happiness. All right, that one speaks for itself. Number 6, you'll be able to define your non-negotiable values. Here's interesting. What are your values? What are your must-haves? Here are some of my personal favorites. Now, maybe you need to say this. Maybe this is directly for you. Maybe this is for someone else. Maybe this is for a friend. I date partners who say I'm sorry and own up to their mistakes. I date partners who believe in mutuality, where there is equal give and take. I date partners who believe in commitment and communication. You know, these might be nice mantras you want to have, even if you're single. If you dated someone who could never own up to their problems, it was always something else, and they deflect, maybe the thing you want to say is, I date partners who say I'm sorry and own up to their mistakes. And maybe you need to live that single life and feel that love, and maybe you'll be able to see exactly what it is when it comes. So let's see here. Let's see if there's any other voicemails I want to play regarding this situation. Looks like we have a lot. If I don't get up to them in this video, go check out the live chat. Let's go back to Tampa here. Did I already play Tampa? I think I already got that. Let's go to Avery. Is this Avery in Vegas?
Hey, Dave. It's Avery, and I've been kind of hyping it up in the chat for a minute, but I was inspired by the comment in the chat. I'm so sorry I forgot your name. But JG in the chat with her song, I was like, what if I do a little poem to kind of sum up everything that this community has been through over the past couple months? So without further ado, let's just do it.
A poem.
Where's Waldo? India, Egypt, Dale's toes. I see the resemblance. Do the work. Be careful who you bang. Matt's balling with fever, and Colton is gay. Thurston for Thurston. Thank you for your feedback. If you don't like tacos, Diane. Sheriff Oz will see you out of the live chat. Sarai has a hookup story we all want to hear. but the off season doesn't start until you cut the crap on Dave Neal. All hail Dave's divas. Have a great life. Also, as well, I think we should have a words of wisdom segment, and so hopefully to the start of a new beginning. Matt James, shave your beard. Bye.
You cut the crap. Thank you so much for that. Slam poetry, really. I should have had some like music ready to go in the background, maybe some bongos or something. Who knew we had poetry and songs? This is turning into like a little hippie circle at the beach there. Very nice. Very great. By the way, if anyone's never watched my videos before, they're going to be like, what's the deal with Dale's feet? Like, I don't get this, whatever. All right, but let's go here. I've got one more voicemail we'll play for this segment, and then we'll move on. No contact will bring you back to reality. In a relationship, sex loads your body with oxytocin, the commitment molecule, and dopamine, the body's feel-good chemicals. Euphoria often has you mirrored in fantasy. The no-contact rule is a detox that brings you back to reality after your relationship ends. You see your ex not for what you wish them to be, but for who they are. Are they selfish, cowardly, a liar, an emotionally immature narcissist? As your eyes open to reality, you can make a better decision about when a partner is really a good bet for the long haul. That's great. So no contact will make you stronger faster. That's that. That's the end of that. So let me see. I think we have one more voicemail regarding the Matt James situation. And let's see what we got here.
Hey, Dave. It's Pam from Summit, Illinois. Regarding Rachael Kirkconnell, I think she should move on. Matt's not worth it. Thanks. Love you. Bye-bye.
Oh, I love that Midwestern accent. Matt's not worth it over there.
What? The soap opera is going on.
All right, so that'll be our Matt James segment, and it appears through the no contact rule, him and Rachael Kirkconnell will be better off going their separate ways. Let's just hope that Rachael Kirkconnell is on the same page, and even if they haven't communicated that they're going to go no contact, sometimes the silence is deafening, and that's the answer that you really need. So from not trying to defend himself or kind of win her back by that silence, I think he gave her the answer that she's looking for. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
We go back, we go back, we go back.